Hello, and welcome to a Subterranean Press unboxing of Hard Stops, or Hard Stops. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I'm just going to pronounce it Hard Stops, which is the collection of Howard Waldrop stories, as edited by his friend George R. R. Martin and Bradley Denton, who presumably is also his friend. Both of whom are authors that Subterranean Press has published in the past. There's Howard Waldrop. You don't need to see my address or the packing list, so I'm just going to yank that out of there. I'm not going to lie, I don't know that I've ever read any Howard Waldrop. Here is, of course, our quote from the warehouse. Every purchase from Subterranean Press comes with a bookmark featuring on one side several of their titles. Ooh, they got some Peter S. Beagle. Is that one been announced yet? If not, I'm excited. Or that one, Late Returns by Joe Hill. Has that been announced yet? Heartless has been announced. That one's out there. Wow, okay. I didn't know those are coming. I'm excited. Quotes in the warehouse. I hate it when my family stories sound like the opening to a Joe Lansdale story. That is a problem. He's got some wacky gonzo characters in there. Hard Stops, the early Waldrop by Howard Waldrop, edited by George R. R. Martin and Bradley Denton. As I was saying, I don't know that I've read any. Whoa! Those are... Look at that cloth. I don't know that I've read any Howard Waldrop. Who did the artwork on this? Dust Jackets illustration by D.C. Potter III. I know I've read at least one Waldrop short story. He contributed to Wild Cards, which George R. R. Martin edited. I know he did. Oh man, I got number 160. I don't even think I requested. Did I request 160? Oh, I did request 160. All right, cool. I requested 160, which matches several other limited editions that I have. I did not remember requesting that, so that's a nice surprise that I gave to myself. Good job, Sean. It is signed by Howard Waldrop, George R. R. Martin, and Bradley Denton. Waldrop, I know, contributed he at least contributed one story to the first Wild Cards. I've only read a first few volumes of Wild Cards. I can't recall if he's contributed more stories. He may have, because he's a good friend of Martin. I know he's contributed to several of the Gardner Dozois collections as well, such as Old Venus and Old Mars. I actually do have signed copies, signed by George R. R. Martin, because he co-edited those. I haven't read those yet, because too many books, too little time. The Droog. Oh, this is an interview. Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, Droog is from Clockwork Orange. But this is Bradley Denton talking to Howard Waldrop. Bradley Denton, famously the author of Buddy Holly is Alive and Well on the Moon of Ganymede? I might be getting the name of that wrong. Buddy Holly is Alive and Well is the start of that novel. I read that many years ago. It was fun. George R. R. Martin, of course, being... it does say Waldrop. I was like, wait a minute, they didn't put his name on the spine. Martin, of course, being famous for not finishing Song of Ice and Fire. But hey, you know what? He'll get there. What's really cool about this, I think this is sold out. This is one of those ones where I bought it immediately because I expected it to sell out really quickly. I think it held on for a while, but I think it's now currently sold out. But what was really cool about this is that all of the revenue, all of the proceeds are actually going directly to Waldrop. So the editors did this pro bono. William Schaefer, the publisher, the guy behind Subterranean Press, did this pro bono. I think they were really only covering fees, like PayPal fees and shipping fees. Everything else was going to Waldrop, which is really cool. I don't know if we'll get other collections from Waldrop published by Subterranean Press, but if they do, I'm on board. Like I said, it's a very cool collection. I mean, it looks to be a very cool collection. I can't speak about the contents. I haven't read it yet. But Waldrop is highly praised from the world of fantasy, which makes me very excited to dive in. This is actually kind of a rarity of sorts for Subterranean Press, because in the most recent years, starting in like 2019, 2020, They've been going more towards a fine press than a small press. A lot of their books have been. Oh, the dust jacket doesn't quite cover the whole book. You can see it poking out at both ends. Um, Anyways, this is more in line with what Subterranean Press used to publish. They used to publish a lot of traditional size trim, traditional size novels or collections. Cloth bound, of course, signed when they can be signed. Usually in like the $40 to $60 range. This was smack dab in the middle at 50. But in more recent years, they've been going into the fine press treatments, where they have been lowering the limitations. You're not usually getting 750 or 1,000. Now you're getting 500 or 400. They increased trim size, a nicer cloth, better paper, two-color printing throughout. And you've been seeing an increase in prices because of that. We're talking like usually over $100 now, maybe $150 to close to $200 now for Subterranean Press. But they do still publish some of these smaller traditional volumes as well, specifically with like the best of collections, and they've got a million best of collections. So it's always nice to buy a smaller volume that isn't costing you an arm and a leg. Although, like I said, it's more of a rarity these days for Subterranean Press, as more and more of their titles are the larger trim size, fancier editions. But I have some of those boxings on the channel if you want to check some of those out. So please consider liking and subscribing. Check out Subterranean Press. They do a kick-ass job. One of the best small presses out there. They were one of the best small presses in this price range, $50 price range. But as I said, they're kind of branching off into nicer editions. But even so, they're still one of the nicest publishers for those nicer editions as well. So please check out Subterranean Press. Support Howard Waldrop. Support George R. R. Martin, Bradley Denton. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you around next time.